going to be a pretty crazy video. I'm going to show you all of my characters. And I have these characters in a spreadsheet, and this is just isn't what I have that you're going to see that are live. I'm going to show you the deleted on top of that, just to see how OCD and how just altoholic I really am in World of Warcraft. So we're going to go through. I'm going to give a little description to everybody. I've done a video on this before where it's, you know, my characters in World of Warcraft, but I haven't gone this in depth to show you what I've done and how I've done it. So let's just get right into it. So this is my main. This is the one I constantly play. This is Athol. He's the one that's based on me in the game. He had gray hair. I just recently, like, he had the one that was like kind of tinted gray. I didn't like it, so I felt like I wanted to go lighter and look more like, you know, younger. So I did. Yeah, I'm not crazy. So he's my main. He's my high gear scored character. This is my first original character that I ever made. This is Caber. He's a warrior. He played in WoW Classic back when the game just started. He's my original character. He's my Fury. Was a tank at one time. I just didn't like it. I still kind of flip-flop with him. Sometimes he does main. Sometimes I do gear him sometimes. So you'll see that he's one of the ones I do use a lot. So this is my second character that I made. Her and Caber were my originals. They were just, I gotta stop saying I say a lot, but they were my first characters. They were the ones that I made, and she was my first alt. She was the first. She was the creation of the madness in my head. So I then made this hunter recently when they came out with Lightforged Draenei, because I wanted a Lightforged Draenei hunter. So I made Jakati. I don't play him as much, but I wanted the armor, as you can see. This is my main mage. This is Vythan. He's my tailor. He's been racial changed a lot. I think at one time he was a Worgen, but I didn't like the casting on the Worgen, so I got rid of him. But you will see, I tried to recreate that Worgen. You'll see that. You'll see. So this is good old Shokasugi, based on the name is stolen from the ninja in the 80s movies. He's my Shadowpan. I tried to make him look, I love the look of the Shadowpan, so I made him look like the Shadowpan. Just, it's really cool looking. So this is Thiva. This is the character that is mainly my banking tune. She's a Void Elf. I wanted the Void Elf armor, so I made her. She's become my banker. She's the one I like to jump back and forth with a mage. So this is Knightly. This is my Death Knight. I love the way the Night Elf female swings swords and two-handed weapons. I don't know what it is. I love the animation on it, so I made her. I had flipped a lot. You'll see that I flip-flop with Death Knights. She became my main because of the animation. I liked it the most. So this guy here is a weird story. This is Firestout. So he was originally a Thal. He was the paladin I had leveled a lot and used the most. I then went through the craziness in my mind where I didn't think I needed 2 male paladins. So I took this paladin and I turned him into, I didn't need 2 human male paladins. So I turned this one into Firestout, which was a dwarf, because I originally had a dwarf paladin. Rero was my dwarf paladin in Classic, and I got rid of him, so I wanted him back. So I turned Athol into this guy. And I started playing, going, I really miss Athol, but I don't want to spend any money. So just going through my deleted characters, I happened to see a human paladin, and I restored him. And I pushed him to the max level, geared him, and it became the new Athol. So Athol has flip-flopped. So yeah, that's the insanity. So here's my other paladin, one of my originals. This is Alwina. She is one I used a lot. My ex-wife and I would use her a lot with my ex-wife and my former stepson. I played with them a lot, so she was the one that got used a lot. She doesn't get used anymore now. Now that I've kind of focused on Athol, I don't really use Alwina. So this is Reclaw. He is based on my mage that I told you guys about before. I like the animations and the stealth look on the Worgen rogue, so I made him. And I use him quite a bit. This is Rero. He's a shaman. I missed my paladin Rero, so I made a shaman named Rero. And he doesn't get much use. He's not as used as much as I would like him to be used, but he's a fun character. I gotta start leveling him a little bit. So this is Jovi. She's gone through some transformations for this look, but I settled on this look. I spelled her name like it's spelled in Elf, because I like the way it was spelled in Elf, but I do like Bon Jovi's music, and I do have characters named Jovi. but I went with that spelling because I liked the way it was spelled. This is Dason, my demon hunter. At one point, I had a warrior who is now on the horde side and was changed over. His name was Yarg. He was my night elf warrior. I didn't want to have two warriors. I thought it was stupid. So I got rid of him and eventually saved the name and made Dason. So that's how he came about. I feel is my priest, my Draenei priest. He doesn't get much use. I'm not a big fan of priest. I'm also not a big fan of warlock, which you'll see as we go on. But he's my original priest. This is Kendara. She is my warlock. She doesn't get much use. I like the new hairstyle, so I always figured like warlocks should be that alternative look. And she came out pretty cool. I like her. So this is a restored druid that I did because I wanted a male druid and I wasn't satisfied with the Worgen druid because I tried that one. So this used to be Dason, and when I restored this guy, Dason was already my demon hunter, so I made Daltis, which I think was a generated name. I'm not gonna lie. But he doesn't get much use, but he did get used a lot in the original when I was playing. He's restored recently. This is Hailey. She's another restored character that I had done. She's my female warrior. She doesn't get much use either. So there's not much to say about her. I don't use her as much as I'd like to. Jaden, she used to be Kendara. She got restored recently, and when I had brought Kendara to be the warlock, I lost the name. This was my original rogue. Like, this was the rogue I made before any other rogue. And she was Defias all the way, and I don't know why the belt transmog didn't work, but she does have a Defias belt. And I loved the character. I didn't like the animation in stealth, so I went with the Worgen and deleted her. But she came back, and I've been using her a lot lately. She's been used quite a bit. She actually went up 3 levels in the past couple days, so she eventually will get up there. So then we've got the other Jovi, Shaman. This is version 2 of this Jovi, because this one was deleted multiple times, and you'll see. So we remade her, and she's a 30 Shaman. She hardly gets any use. Then we've got Big Stuff. She's a priest. Can't say much about her. I don't use her. She looks cool, but I don't use her as much as I like to. Fire Brew is my Dark Iron Dwarf. I really want to get the Dark Iron. So stuffy today. I don't know why. I want to get the Dark Iron armor. I haven't got that yet, so we're going to work on that. That's what she was created for. Then there was Cletus, my original warlock. He got deleted, and we remade him. When I say we, me, I remade him as a mech gnome. I'm not sure how I feel about the mech gnomes. He's one that gets debated to be deleted a lot, because I don't know how I feel about the mech gnomes. But I originally had a warlock named Cletus. I don't know if he's still here or not. They may have got rid of him, but he used to be here. I also have this new Death Knight. I had this idea for this pirate-looking human Quiltarian guy named Greyhate, and he had this beard and stuff, and I ended up making him this because I didn't want another rogue. So here's where he starts to get really good. Let's go through my deleted characters. So here's the original Dason. Well, one of the original Dasons that I tried to remake. He was a Death Knight. Here is the original Kendara, who was the original Kendara warlock. Yep, got 2 of them. Okay, here's another Alwina, a mage. Yeah. Here's the one I was talking about. This is Reclaw. We tried to make him twice. I did pay for a change to get him to Vythan, and then I tried to remake him. I just didn't like the animations on it. Then we've got another version of Dason, which apparently you see I wanted the Night Elf warrior type of character or Death Knight back, so I had him. There were other ones, but I guess Blizzard put a limit on the leveling when they squished it, and I lost a bunch from this server. So that's them. Here it gets even better. Oh, by the way, I have a boost. I still haven't used it. But here's where it starts to get kind of crazy. So Whisperwind is my main Horde server. It's joint with Dentark. So they're kind of on the same server. So here's my main horde character. This is Yarg. He is the original Raro that was transferred over here and then turned into this character, if I remember correctly. I had another paladin, but he when my friends started playing horde, I jumped over here and I made him, and I think that's when Khan and Imberia were playing Warcraft, and I created him, and he's just been one of my mains ever since. So Caber, Yarg, and Athal are the ones that usually get the most play. They're my mains. I love the armor for the Blood Elves. It looks freaking badass. I can't wait for the Blood Knight stuff. I'm gonna do that. So my favorite race by far is the Taurens. I love Native American culture. I'm very big in Native American culture books. I like to read them. So I wanted a paladin named Sunwalk, and I got lucky and got the name Sunwalk, especially since paladins are sunwalkers. So he got created. I don't exactly use him, because, I mean, I've got Yarg, so he doesn't really get any use, but I didn't. Then I went through that crazy feeling where I'm like, oh, let me separate my characters and I'll make 2 main paladins. So that's what I did. Oh, and this gets even better, because my horde characters were originally on the lane server, and I only paid to move a couple because I didn't want to. They didn't have multi-transfers, and I didn't want to spend a fortune moving them, so I remade a lot. So Sunwalk and Yarg got moved over here. Sorry, I was thirsty. So then we did Ikar, who is my horde hunter, and he is one of those new orcs, and he's cool looking. So here is Cabriana. Cabriana is an interesting story, as I told you. Cabriana comes from the original Yarg, the warrior that Dason has basically been based off of on the deleted side on Dentarg. He was my original warrior, and I didn't need 2 warriors. I had Caber, so I brought him over, changed him into her, and I like the armor set. I know it's kind of skimpy. I'm sorry, but I like the set. It's cool looking. So I kept her and used her, and I love the way the swords look on that set, and they're small in Blood Elves, so that's part of it. That's kind of cool. But yeah, she got racial changed a few times. So here's Haztrak. As you're going to see very soon, Haztrak has come a few different characters. This is the Warlock Haztrak that is based on a different Haztrak that's on a different server that I recently restored and want back. Don't know how I'm going to do it because I'm out of slots. Then we've got Magua, based on the Last of the Mohegans Magua, and I wanted the armor for him, so I made him and got the armor, and he never gets any use. So he's another one you're going to see a couple of. Same with Dead Pretty. Dead Pretty is my horde mage. She is my tailor on the horde side. She doesn't get much use either. My horde characters don't get much use. Then we've got Miniwa. I like the Native American name thing, the generator, and well, it's not even a generator, it's actually a lore page, and I use a lot of them. So she's my shaman. This is one of my favorites. This is Kassira. Kassira gets used a lot, or when I do play horde, she's one of my top. It's usually her and Yarg or Yarg, I say Yarg sometimes, but Yarg and Kassira that get used the most, because Kassira is one of my originals. She's just fun to play. They have a cool stealth. The stealth's what gets me. Then we've got Psykiss, my demon hunter. I had a male on one side, so I needed the female, but then we've got multiple demon hunters, because I think I have another one here that's a male. Then we've got Janice, who... This is a tough one. Janice is my 34 monk. They had the Nightborn, so I wanted to try it, so I made Janice. I originally had a Pandaren. You'll see it, because I brought her back. She's my favorite horde monk, so I don't ever use this one. I leveled this with my ex-wife, and I just don't ever use her. So then we've got Awan, my druid. I do love Taurens. You'll see I have quite a bit of Taurens on here. He was my healer. I hate what they did with druid healing, and I don't use him. Zendria is a name that my ex used on one of the characters, because one of my characters' name was Xandar. So she was on one of my accounts because my ex was trying it and wanted to see what it was like. So I kept the paladin, and I never deleted her. I restored her. So she never gets used. Zarek is my orc. He is my orc death knight. I like orcs and warrior death knights, and I never really got into using him because I made some other ones I deleted, which we will see. Then we've got Emza. Ziani and I, Ziani has an alt hunter, and I use this guy with him, and he's pretty cool. I like him. He's fun to play. Then we've got Xandar, my shaman goblin. I like goblin shamans. I don't know why. They're just fun to play. Then we've got Enzula. I like the new trolls, the Zandalari trolls. I want a warrior one, which I kind of wish I had another slot to do it, because I really like I wanted this guy to be a warrior, but he never came about the way I wanted it to, so he ended up being a monk. So we've got Jawar. He is my new male demon hunter. Used him for a little bit and haven't used him since. Then we've got Charlie. She is my horde hunter. I wanted a female orc. I really liked the World of Warcraft movie, and I think it was it Draka? I kind of wanted her to be like Draka, so that's what I did with this character. Then we've got Cleophasis, who is my undead rogue. I do like undead rogues, but I do like the blood elves better, but I also wanted the undead rogue, so I brought him in and made him. Then we've got Neekin, who is my priest. He's a remake of another Neekin. I was drinking one night, and I was drinking Heineken, and I looked at the name, and I said, oh, Neekin Heineken, and that's where I came up with the stupid name. He doesn't get much use. A lot of these were remakes, that's why they're so low. I just never got to level them out. Spirit Wing is my female druid. She's a troll. She's cool looking. I made her up. So Garkon is a name save. He's not really being used, but I wanted to save the name because he is a Klingon on my crew in Star Trek Online, and I like the name, so I just name saved it, and I want him to be something else in this. He might be my dragon guy. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I'm saving the name. So on this server, the deleted. This is a fun one to explain. I originally was making human paladins on this server in dwarfs because this was the sister server to Dintarg. So I felt like I needed to have these characters. So I remade Kamer. He was going to be a human paladin. Wow, he looks like a Thal. Isn't that crazy? Then we've got a Thal, who is 25 too, who just happened to have the name. Yeah. I got no idea. I just wanted a Thal, so this is why a Thal was my main. Then we've got this guy who is a Night Elf Death Knight. I think his name is Mezard, but he was based on the warrior that I moved over because I like the warrior. Then we've got Foster, the Paladin, the Death Knight, who is based on the Paladin. Yep. You can see that I like the Paladin, the Dwarf Paladin, and the Night Elf Warrior. I missed them, and when I racial changed them and faction changed them, I lost them and felt the need to try to bring them back. So that was part of that. Then we've got Zarek, who is my Death Knight Orc, so I had made him, and didn't like it. I don't know. Then we have Foster again. So we've got two Fosters. So this is the best, right? So this is my original Horde server. You'll only see I have 3. I'm maxed. I got no more slots. So this is my original Horde server. This is the hunter I've been talking about. This is the one I like, and I miss him, and I want him back. So I had restored him. This is my monk, Janice. This is the original one I keep talking about. And watching Ziani play her Pandaren has definitely made me bring her back. So she's been being played. She's been played pretty much every day. So they're staying. I brought my Druid back, which makes no sense because I have the Druid on the other server, but I felt like I needed to bring him back because he was one of my favorites. So I brought him back too. He was my original healer. So this is the cool part. This is the original server that all of my Horde were on. So we've got Rivers, level 40 Warlock. Yeah, I stripped them and send the money when I delete them. Then we've got Pretty Dead, the original mage. Then we've got Ayan, another mage, who I didn't like. I deleted it and made Pretty Dead. Then we've got the original Negan. We've got the original Magua. He was an orc. Oh, and then we were trying this out too, where we were like, let's try making Reclaw, and we'll put him on this server, the lane server, because I got the open slot, and see if I like it. So I made him, leveled him up. So yeah, It's great. And then we've got Xandar. Multiple Xandars, because I had deleted Xandar so many times. So this Xandar came about from an original warrior who I had made that was a back in Classic who was an undead. So I made a Death Knight. And I was like, oh, I'll bring him back and make him a Death Knight. So then there's this Xandar, because I love Tauren. So I was like, well, let me try to make a Tauren hunter. Yeah, that didn't work. Then we've got another Has-Track, because I wanted to try Shaman out. And I missed this Has-Track that got deleted on the server. Then this is the original Xandar. This is number 1 Xandar. He is the original Goblin Shaman that I used to play. Then we've got this Aeon. She was a Goblin Priest. So yeah, that's my character list. That's what I have. If they ever add more slots, I'm going to bring them all back. They may get racial change. They may get faction changed. I don't know. I'm not going to lose those characters. They're there. And it's crazy to me that I have such attachments to them. And I just did a show on this, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to bring the video in. My last video on my Star Wars alts got them more views than any video I've ever put out. So this one should be entertaining, at least. It's just to see the insanity that goes on in my head. And I really am an Altoholic. And I would love Blizzard. I would love it if you gave us more character slots. And I have them all on my sheet. I have them all in my spreadsheet ready to go. So I got an order for it. I got a plan for it. I'm hoping you guys come along with it. I've got the dragon, the dragon guys ready to go. I want to do it. Hopefully you guys do it. But anyway, that's the craziness that I do and what I have. So I thought it would be kind of fun and interesting for you guys to see what I have and how many alts I really do have, or the possibility of having. Anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate it.